Hi, my name is Mrs. Kilpatrick. I just wanted to make a quick video introducing myself and talking about the course, as well as expectations that you can have throughout the year. So, my name is Mrs. Kilpatrick. I've been teaching now for about 15 years. I have taught all levels of chemistry, and I've also taught physics as well. I enjoy teaching both chemistry and physics. They're both courses that are very math heavy, and a lot of people do consider them to be difficult courses, but I enjoy breaking that material down and making it more student friendly. So that being said, physics is one of those courses that it's fundamental for a lot of science majors. So if anybody wanted to major in engineering, physics is definitely one of those fundamental courses. Now, even with physics and chemistry, both of those things, they have a tendency to overlap with each other. So with physics, let's just talk about the way that I set up my course. So first of all, I have a website. It's kilpatrickscience.com. So it's my last name, science.com. So when you click on it, this is what you're going to see. So on the left-hand side, I have the different courses I'm teaching this year. And then also you have a link on the right that says calendar. Okay, so what you'll do is you'll go to Physics Honors. And right now I'm working on rebuilding this. So I'm rebuilding it from scratch. I've had a physics site before, but I ended up just kind of scratching it, and I'm just rebuilding it. So when you click on it, you're going to come here, and then this is going to bring you to the different units. So the first unit was just review. We're going back over metric systems, significant figures, dimensional analysis. So if you click on the left-hand side, you'll have different videos that'll pop up. And most of this will correlate to what I do in the classroom. Okay, so you'll have that, and then you'll also have a note packet. Typically, I have a homework packet that also goes with that. So let me pull up my note packet so you can see what that looks like. So there is a textbook for this class, but essentially I give them everything that they need. So the note packet looks like this, and what we do is when we take notes, we just fill it in as we go. So you'll see the different types of problems that we'll do, and then they'll have that. So I do advise I advise my students get a binder, because like I said, you don't need to have your textbook. This pretty much is your textbook. So every unit you get a note packet, every unit you get a homework packet. Now the homework, essentially whatever it doesn't get finished in class is homework. So I will have several students who don't need to do that much work at home. As long as they're staying on top of it in class, they understand the material, they may not have that much homework from me. So like I said, we've started in class. If it doesn't get finished, that's the expectation, that they go home and then they finish that. So they'll get that every single unit, and I typically try to have some sort of answer key. So if there's math, they can go back and check to see, okay, am I doing this correctly? Because they need to be able to know if they're doing it correctly before they sit down and take a quiz or a test. There are generally 2 quizzes per unit before the test. Just depends. Sometimes there's more. They'll have those quizzes, and then the quizzes I try to set up so that they're very similar to the test, so they should be able to have an idea of how the test is going to be structured before they sit down and take that test. So they'll have probably 3 to 4 summatives every quarter. Now, the way that they can remediate those summative scores is we have a quarter test at the end of the quarter, which is comprehensive. It will cover those units, and if they can score better on that than any of their previous test scores, then I'm going to go in and replace those scores. For this class, because it is a math heavy course, I do recommend, they do need a calculator. If they have a graphing calculator, great, don't go buy another calculator, but really what they need is a scientific calculator that can do cosine, sine, tangent, and then also do scientific notation. So they will need a calculator. I advise that they get a binder just for their notes and their homework packets and just to keep it organized. This is one of those classes, just like chemistry was, where it builds. So we learn, we start a foundation, and then we go from there, and then nothing ever really goes away in this class. So there are things that overlap for sure, and you're going to be building skills as we go. So this is one of those classes, just like chemistry was, just like any kind of math course. You're going to make sure that you're going to want to make sure that you stay on top of it and that you don't get lost. And if you do feel like you don't understand something, or if you have questions, you need to address those things as we go, as opposed to waiting until the day before a test or the day before the quarter ends, because the longer you let that continue, the more likely you are to to dig yourself into a hole that's going to become very hard to get out of. So I'm here to answer questions. Make sure that you're asking those questions along the way. Make sure you're asking for help along the way, because I'm here to make everyone successful. So make sure that you utilize the resources that I'm giving you, and also if you have questions, you should ask them. All right, well, if at any point you have questions about anything, oh wait, I do want to say one more thing. I do have a Remind, and if anybody would like to join the Remind, so you can get the same messages the students do, and if I have a student who has not joined the Remind, I advise that you go ahead and you get on the Remind. So let me go ahead and put that on. Okay, so you can text 81010, and then in the message you can put at 642HA2. And that, if you put that in there, you'll be put on my Remind. So anytime I send out a text reminding about a test, or you need to bring in such and such, or we're doing this that day, don't forget to go back and look at this, or a set of notes, you can get the same messages as them. So feel free to go ahead and join the Remind. And like I said, if anybody has any questions or concerns at any point during the school year, please reach out and send me an email. So my email address is brandy.kilpatrick@stjohns.k12.fl.us, and it is on my website. So you can hit the contact me button, or I think it's on here. If not, there is a link that says contact me, and that will work, and that will bring you to my email address. All right, well, I hope everyone has a great night, and I really hope that we have a great school year.